Hello folks, welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's keeping well. So today is hopefully just a quick video and what we're going to be doing is just a little bit of a test on two navigation display units, one from Innovv and then the other one from Chigee, and that has been all mounted on my trusty BMW R1250 GS. So what I've got is I've got the Chigee mounted onto the navigation bar above the TFT using the nav bar mount from Chigee, and then the Innovv I've just used the ball mount at the back of the unit and then connected it via a RAM mount onto the navigation bar. And you can see via the mess of wires here, I've just surface mounted the Innovv stuff and then just taped it all the way along the side, and rear camera from Innovv is on there, and then basically that all goes back to, including the Chigee, it all goes back to the battery. So everything is hardwired into the battery and it's all switch live. So under the seat there is a connection on the BMW that I've tapped into, so nothing works until the ignition has been switched off, and that is by far the best way to do it, I guess. And in relation to the Chigee then, we've got a camera under there, hopefully you can see that, and then moving around to the front, I've got a camera mounted on here as well. So today we'll just be doing a not too in-depth review on or look at the Chigee versus the Innovv. I've already done a couple of videos on both of these, so click on the link up here somewhere, go and check that out, and there's some in-depth reviews on both of those units. But before we do any of that, let's roll the intro. Welcome back folks, what a glorious day it is today, and we are the first week of September. Right then, on with the task in hand, just to give you folks a bit of a helping hand if you're looking at buying a navigation unit for your bike, whether that be the BMW or any other bike, because these units can be fitted to any other bike out on the market. So we are looking at the Innovv N1 Pro, which is to all extensive purposes a 6-inch display, and then the other unit is the Chigee AIO-5 Lite. Now both of these units do come with camera systems, dash cams front and rear, as you've already seen. So let's just go through a couple of the costings very quickly, then I'll put all the links and all the stuff you need in the description down below. So the Chigee then is going to set you back, and these prices are from the actual main websites, no other dealer website, so these are from the websites themselves. So the Chigee is going to cost you £455. That comes with two cameras, and you have got blind spot detection system on there as well. And as it stands, I've got them at home actually, but not fitted to the bike. You can pay £72 and get a tyre pressure monitoring system, but my BMW's got them already as standard or from the factory. So I've just connected the Chigee to the BMW's tyre pressure monitors, and then I've got a little bracket on the back there, which is an optional extra from Chigee, and that's going to set you back £28. That's the nav bar mount. Grand total then, as it stands here, is 500 gulp and £55. But if you use a discount code, which Chigee have given me, it's £444. But yeah, click on the link down below, that will take you to Chigee. Moving over to the Innovv N1 Pro, that's going to set you back again. This is from the Innovv's main website, £326, and that does come with two dash cams front and rear. There is no blind spot detection system on this, and if you want to get the additional tire pressure monitoring system, that's going to set you back £68. And moving down here very quickly, if we can see it, there we go, we go to the other side. I actually have got those fitted to the bike just for the purpose of the test. Right, moving back up to the Innovv, and I've got the bracket at home in the man cave, but they do a similar bracket which is similar to the Chigee, and that will mount the unit onto the navigation display bar. That's going to set you back 27 quid. So the grand total for the Innovv is £421 without any discount, and I think I've got a discount code, so check that out in the description down below. with the non-discount price, the Innovv is going to be about £134 cheaper. So that is the prices. So what else can I tell you? So I've got my trusty iPhone with all the notes on it. Again, I'm going to try and keep this brief. So warranty wise, the Innovv comes with a 2-year warranty and the Chigee comes with a 1-year warranty. And again, this is all just looking at stuff from the main websites of each of the companies. And from Chigee you can get an extra year for £51, but I think if you go to some of the sellers in the UK you get a 2-year warranty anyway. In relation to remote controls available, there is nothing available remote control wise for the Innovv pointing to the right unit. And then for the Chigee, as I've got in here, I've got a LIN Bluetooth module, which means the whizzer wheel becomes functional to change stuff on here, but there is nothing available for the Innovv from a remote control point of view. And my LIN Bluetooth module is Bluetooth BMW specific, but for any other bikes you can get a remote control, so it doesn't just have to be remote control for the BMW. Chigee do remote controls for other bikes, not bike specific, but the remote control will work with the Chigee unit and it doesn't have to be BMW. I hope that makes sense. So what hasn't the Innovv got compared to the Chigee then? So let's go through that. In relation to downloading your footage, once you've used it, there is no Innovv app. There is for the Chigee, there is no Innovv app to download your footage. What Innovv expect you to do is to pull the SD card out, and it's a pain. You've got 2 small screws and a weatherproof plate at the bottom of both of these, and you've got to take 2 small screws out. The chances you may lose one of the screws down here somewhere or wherever you mount it on your bike. So there is no app to download your footage. You've got to take the SD card out, and it's a TS format. It's a little bit awkward to then convert it to an MP4 kind of viewable format. It's a bit of a faff if I'm being honest, whereas the Chigee is just MP4. There's an app for that, and you can just send the footage, video footage from your phone, from the screen onto your phone. So that's fine. Innovv really should have an app for that. They've got apps for their other devices, so I don't know why they haven't got an app for the downloading of the video stuff. So my radio's just come on my headset. Let's turn that off. Yeah, I've got a Cardo PackTalk Edge connected to the unit, so that all works really well actually, whether it be the Innovv or the Chigee. So no app to download your stuff from the Innovv. However, I did get a bit of a hint from another YouTuber, Smart Riding Gadgets. Go and check him out, very good actually, only just started up. He's contacted Innovv, and there is an app you can get on the App Store for your iPhone called Video App, up here, and a link down there. And I've tried it already, and yeah, you don't have to take the SD card out, and it will download the footage to your in my case my iPhone, and that's brilliant. I don't know why Innovv don't do that. Certainly they should make a reference to it on the website. Come on Innovv, you're better than that. So yeah, I've done it hassle free to download the footage, so it's good. In the video I did previously on the Innovv, I did moan about the footage, but that's because I took the SD card out in TS or .ts format, and then I had to convert it into an MP4, and maybe when I got converted the quality was not as good as what it could have been. So I'm interested to see. I'll do some daylight footage as we ride along. I'm very interested to see if the footage is going to be better with downloading it onto my iPhone and then onto my Apple Mac and then onto Final Cut Pro, my editing software. So it might be that the footage for Innovv is actually pretty good. I said on the previous video that it was not very good at all, so I'm hoping that maybe it is a little bit better. Who knows? And I did say I wouldn't even use it for B-roll on one of my holidays. I would only use it for evidential purposes with the dash cam, so fingers crossed that it's going to be a little bit better. So there is a workaround to get your footage from Innovv onto your phone with a third-party app. There was no screen protector until a few days ago for the Innovv, and I've looked on the website today and they do them, but surprise surprise, they're all sold out at the moment. You have auto dimming on the Chigee, no auto dimming on the Innovv. Again, that should be on there, more of that a little bit later on. And in relation to the Innovv, there's no way to either turn the screen off as you're riding along because you don't want the screen on. so everything's still working in the background, but you don't want the screen displayed, or you don't want to draw attention to yourself and you just want a dark screen. Well, you can do it on the Chigee but not on the Innovv, although there is something on the settings, screensaver, but that's just basically turns the screen off after a number of minutes, which is nothing that you are requesting it to do. It's just a time-based thing, so I don't know why they've got that on there anyway. Screen locks, yeah, you can't lock the screen. These are touch sensitive screens, touch capacitant screens, so potentially when it rains, the raindrops mimic your fingers, the screens go wild, whether that be an iPhone, an Innovv, a Chigee, Carpuride, any of those devices, capacitant screens, they all do the same. There's nothing you can do about that. However, Chigee, you can lock the screen, so you can tap it and nothing will happen until you unlock the screen. That's really good. Innovv, no such facility. But in reality, folks, I don't know how often the screen is going to be bouncing around doing uncommanded actions with the raindrops. I have no idea. I don't even know if it's a problem, but I just thought I'd raise that. And there's no speaker on the Innovv. There is on the Chigee, so when you play back your footage on the unit itself, then you cannot hear the audio, but there is a microphone on that one. So speaker, microphone on the Chigee, and just a microphone on the Innovv, and I think pretty much that is it. So that is all the differences really. That's about it. That's what I've got on my phone. So what we're going to do is fire the bike up, put a route in, ride along, and we just have a look at the screens. That's it. Right, let's fire the units up and go for a little bit of a ride. Right, okay, let's go. Right then, let's fire the bike up. Let's just see how quickly the units power up. So Innovv's on first, followed by the Chigee. Going to start the bike up. So I'm going to put the specifications up here. I'm not going to bore you folks with all the specs. So here's the Innovv. Press the pause button, and then followed by the Chigee. Specs wise, again, press the pause button. Both of these units can take 256 gigabytes of memory card. I've got 128 gigabyte cards in there at the moment. And the Chigee is hardwired into the battery, as is the Innovv. And there we go, pretty much. Yeah, they fired up pretty much similar actually, haven't they? So we're down at the harbour. As you can see, we're going to go over that way towards the west of the island. Now the Innovv is also powered to connected to the battery. In relation to phone wise, I've turned both. I've got an iPhone 14 for the Chigee, and then I've got my old iPhone 10, I think it is, connected to the Innovv, and I've gone for offline maps. So both of them are using offline maps, and they're in airplane mode. I think they're airplane mode at the moment. So I don't know what the real truth is about if you use downloaded maps, if the phones still have a proper GPS signal, and so you will still be able to navigate. I read somewhere on the forums that somebody was in the Black Forest in Germany, and there was no GPS on their phone, and I think it was the Carpuride the Chigee they were using, and it was they lost their position. So I'm not, maybe somebody can answer down below if you're using offline maps, so you're not using 4G data, if you're worried about the costs. If you're not using 4G data but you've downloaded the offline maps and you've got your iPhone which has got a GPS in it, is that giving you true GPS? I don't know. The inferences on the internet are that it is, so you should always see where you're going if you've got the downloaded maps using offline. Obviously it won't give you live traffic data because you've turned the 4G data part off, so it's not updating the data. But if you're going away on holiday, just download all the maps that you need the day before you go. So I've got Apple Maps on here with the offline stuff, Google Maps offline, and my go-to navigation for my bike stuff, which does give me point to point on the displays. I've already tried it, and I use the scenic stuff, so that's what I use for my navigation. Works fine. Again, offline if you want to use that as well. So both of these are offline because I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison and not have one running 4G and the other one using offline. So that's where we're at the moment. So it's running, so let's go. So how are we going to do this then? It's really just to give you guys and girls an idea as to what to expect if you're looking at either of these units. I think what I'll do though is, I'm gassing too much, losing my train of thought. What we're going to do is go out to the west of the island, so let's put a quick route in there. Let's pull in over here, Muppet, so let's put a quick route in here. There we go, that's in there already. Go to Chigee Lighthouse on the west of the island, go, and then the same for this, Chigee Lighthouse, go. Sorry about that. So the route's in there, there we go, the route's in there, and yeah, let's go. So we're going to talk about then, so let's just talk about let's go right from when it gets delivered to your door then. So both of these units, the Innovv and the Chigee, great quality. So it all starts from the packaging. When the your chosen method of delivery service arrives, they deliver it to your door, very well packaged, everything's really nice, it's all good, instructions and all that kind of stuff. And I will say that the Innovv and the Chigee, from a quality point of view, they're right there at the top. Nice quality plastics for the outside of the navigation display. All the cabling's good, nice connections, both IP67 waterproof rated. Yeah, just very nice quality, and all the accessories that they have sent me free of charge, I've got to say. Yeah, they've sent me these units free of charge. Very nicely put together. So I would say both these units sit at the top of the tree, nicely boxed, nicely presented. Now from a price point of view, we've already explained that the Chigee is about 130 odd quid more than the Innovv, but you're getting a few more bits and pieces on the Chigee. So the construction point of view then, already said, very good quality. And in relation to the Chigee, you're going to get some buttons on the top of the display unit. The Innovv is nice, and there's no other buttons on the outside of it at all. It's all using your finger basically, or voice control. So I've got my Cardo Pack Talk Edge. It's not connected to either of them at the moment, but that's what I use. No issues at all, connects all the time, whether it be the Innovv or the Chigee. Absolutely no issues with there. I have tried other units, and it's been other brands that have been an absolute pain in the backside to connect them, so much so I've wanted to throw them against the wall and destroy them basically. But the Innovv and the Chigee, absolutely superb. So quality point of view, you're getting a really nice product. From a specification point of view, yeah, flash them up there, hit the pause button. Basically 5.99 inches on the Innovv, 5 inches on the Chigee. There's a bigger RAM memory on this one compared to the Innovv, and I think it's got a newer processor on the Chigee, so maybe it's going to be a little bit quicker in general operation. That may be the case, but I am no expert, as they say. Display wise then, I do like the 6-inch, I'm going to call it a 6-inch display from the Innovv. Just go over here. I'm going to call it a 6-inch display, and I'm using Apple maps on both of them at the moment, just for a side-by-side comparison. And yeah, the 6 inches, absolutely, it's excellent. I do prefer it to the 5-inch for my setup on the BMW. Obviously, these units can be fitted on any bike. They come standard with a handlebar mount, but as it happens, the Chigee has got the additional extra navigation bar mount, which you can get for the Innovv, but that's at home in the man cave. Yeah, they all come with the handlebar mount, so for any motorbike, just put it on there. So it might be you've got the 5-inch mounted a little bit closer to you, so you don't need the 6-inch screen. But the 6-inch screen is absolutely, I really like it. It's a very nice screen. In relation to the brightness, that's 800, I'm going to say nits, although they use some other terminology. And the Chigee is 1000 nits, but they've got a peak brightness, whatever that means, of 1200 nits. I have to say, the Chigee display just seems to be, if it was a camera taking a photo, it seems to be slightly overexposed. I know it's got auto brightness, auto dim function, and the Innovv hasn't, but my general feelings are that the screen is just slightly overexposed because the buildings are slightly blown out really. And the Innovv, very nice contrast. It's got better contrast than the Chigee, but it's not as bright. And the downside is there's no auto dimming, auto brightness function on the Innovv. I've got to remember which is which on the Innovv. God, I hope this is not too long video, folks. And it is rush hour traffic as well. You've got blind spot detection on the Chigee, you haven't on the Innovv, but yeah, you do whatever you want to do really. That's it really from the specification, and you just add the buttons on the top there, so you can lock the screen on this if it's raining, so the touch capacitance doesn't get affected by the rain. And yeah, you can just scroll through other bits and pieces with the function buttons on the top, and you've got a sort of a function button on the left on the Innovv, but you've got to take your eyes off the road really. You touch that and it brings up a brightness, and then and a home button as well, but you use that when it's safe to do so really. Brightness button, then you can press that bar at the top and then you can slide it accordingly. And what we're going to do, I will very shortly, once you go through the traffic lights, show you the nighttime stuff. So generally most people, if you've got the Innovv, you're going to leave it on maximum brightness really. That's what I've been leaving it on. And of a night time, I just found it a little too bright, as you'll see very, very shortly, a little bit too bright, whereas the Chigee auto dimming function drops down to a nice level, so it's not glaring you in the face. Glaring you in the face? What am I talking about? Yeah, so it's not too bright. So that's the Chigee sorts itself out. The Innovv, if you've forgotten to lower the brightness, then you've got to start pressing this button, and some things may happen, as you will see very shortly. So as we approach these filter and turn signs, I will cue the night riding and some night footage from the dash cams as well. So here's the night riding stuff. So here we are then at night time. What can we say about the display units? Well, I have to say the Chigee with the auto dim brightness function, absolutely bang on, no complaints with the level of brightness that unit displays to you, the rider. It's very comfortable on the eyes, no issue at all. And if we mentioned it, I'm sure we mentioned it before in relation to the red flashing recording light. With the new update, you can go into the video settings and actually disable that. So if you're doing a lot of night riding, you can get rid of that blinking red light. So Chigee have listened to their audience, and that's something I did email and tell them about, and I was hoping that they could do that. And there is a option to disable that red flashing light in the video settings. That's really good. But yeah, the level of brightness is absolutely bang on for the Chigee. Now in relation to the Innovv, not so much so, because there is no auto dim brightness function, and I think that's not very good of Innovv. They are really good at what they do, and they should have had that on this unit. I don't think there's any excuse for that at all really, if I'm being brutally honest. And daytime riding, it's all personal preference, but I have it at full brightness. And obviously at night time, what you're going to have to do is actually manually reduce the brightness. Now you've got the quick access button here, and it is a little bit sketchy at times, folks, if you don't get to the brightness bar which will appear at the top first time. So my suggestion would be, before you set off at night time, adjust the brightness to low. But I just find that the brightness looking here is just too bright for me actually. There is a car behind me, so I don't want to get this wrong. So yeah, just go into the quick access button there, and then that brings you up the menu. Hit the brightness, you've got the bar at the top there, and then with your touchscreen sensitive gloves, just lower, and that's the problem you get. You go to lower the brightness, and it moves the screen. So I would suggest, yeah, pull over and adjust it. So that is exactly what I will do. So I'm going to pull over. I've got my gloves off. There we go. Brightness. I've done it before and it actually adjusted it, but there we go. So it's now adjusted correctly. But yeah, it should be auto dimming, guys. Come on, Innovv, sort that out. So there we go. Both units are, for me, nice and comfortable now for nighttime riding. I'll also show you what the camera at the front camera is like of a night time, just so you can get some comparison as well. But yeah, the 6-inch screen from Innovv is really nice. I really like it. It's just a shame, as I think it's going to be me repeating myself, It's just a shame that they haven't got certain other things on the unit. But nighttime, once you adjust the brightness, it's fine. It's really nice, and it's, yeah, the 6-inch is just very nice. What else is there to say? The cameras, there you go. We'll put some footage of the Chigee and the Innovv cameras, just so you get an idea of what they're like. And the other thing, obviously, with the Innovv, just use the whizzer wheel, actually, just scroll through. It's just far safer that way, isn't it? There we go, there's the rear view mirror mode, and then to get the rear view mirror mode on this one, I've actually got to go home. It's all a bit sketchy, isn't it? Go home and then go to dash cam. There we go. So yeah, so that's them both on rear view mirror mode, and they're very good actually. I like it. Nice and clear. Yeah, that's good. So I think that's everything in relation to the night riding. So let's go back to the daytime riding. So that was the nighttime stuff. So let's just quickly talk about the functionality of the units themselves then. So gloves on, basically the Chigee with the remote control specific for the BMW. Yeah, I can just, without any issues, I can just, I've got to select the correct mode. There we go. I can just scroll through the various sections, menus, pages of the BMW's whiz wheel to get what page I want on the Chigee. So remote control, whether it be BMW specific or just a generic remote control, very nice from a safety point of view. Innovv, no such thing. You just have to use the old fingers. So both of these, they're not going to work particularly well with big winter gloves. I've got these rucker gloves with the touchscreen capacitance fingertips. No issues with that at all. So there's a home button on the Innovv, takes you to the home screen. Again, I've done a full review of these, so go and check that out. I'm not going to go through it, but then if you want to look at the dash cam stuff, really nice. Both of these got rear view mirrors, which are absolutely, I really like that. I'm a big fan of these rear view mirrors, certainly at night time as well. They are really good. Yeah, so really good, nice quality, a real good safety feature as well. But the Innovv, you've just got to go and press stuff with your finger. So yeah, and that's really all you need to know, if I'm being honest. So Innovv, you've got to touch stuff, and the Chigee, yeah, you've got to touch stuff, but you've got the option to use a remote control as well. And then you've got the quick access hard buttons on the top, which are pretty good actually. So no mucking around trying to get the right menu or the right page that you desire, and then you can just go back to CarPlay there. So really nice. And then internet, I don't know why they call it Internet Connect, but there we go. In relation to speed, how sensitive the screens are, touchscreen capacitance, so let's just have a look what that's like. So Innovv, yeah, I would say that the Chigee is just a little bit quicker. Let's just start. I would say that the Chigee is just a little bit quicker. Yeah, just a little bit quicker, I think. So let's go back to maps. Yeah, I think that's functionality. Yeah, remote control's got to be a plus thing, hasn't it, really? Right, let's continue with the video. So I hope that's been of benefit. Yeah, Chigee's a little bit quicker, a little bit brighter, but the 6-inch display is really good. Anyway, on with the video. So let's talk about accessories. Both Innovv and Chigee do a lot of accessories, so just look on the website and see what tickles your fancy, as they say. Now, what about updating the units themselves? Well, if you go to the Innovv website, and both of these units are running the latest software. I did have an issue with the previous screen that Innovv sent down to me. It didn't have the latest software, and we were unable to update the latest software version because I had an Apple Mac and it wouldn't update it. So they kindly sent me a new unit which has got the latest software on it. So this unit, as of the 4th of September today, is bang up to date. So in relation to updating the software. You just have to speak to the engineers and they will tell you what the latest software version is. So yeah, come on Innovv, you should have the latest software version on the website, and so people know what version they've got. In relation to the Chigee, yeah, you need an SD card. I think you need the SD card obviously for the Innovv, and then you can do it over the air wirelessly, but you need an SD card to download the software onto it, put the card in, suck it up to the memory, and it will do its thing. So very easy to do. And Chigee will have the latest software number, etc. version on the website, and they also do what they call a beta version, which is a test version before it becomes official, just in case they need to iron out any bugs. So this is running the latest beta up-to-date software unit, and the nice thing is, I think I said it on the nighttime video, Chigee have listened to their audience, and I was one of them who moaned about the red flashing light, certainly at night time. And now you can go into the dash cam settings, I think it is, and then just disable the red video recording light, because it always records when you're riding anyway. So yeah, so you can, at night time, you can get rid of that red flashing light. So that's a nice feature. Yeah, so that's software update, pretty straightforward really. Okay folks, I think what we'll do is we'll go back to the garage, back to the man cave, and I'll just give you my final thoughts on both the Innovv and the Chigee. One thing I will say is I haven't taught you to suck eggs in relation to CarPlay. CarPlay is what CarPlay is, that's what it does, and with your touch capacitance gloves on, everything works really nicely. We're not following the route now, we've gone off route, going back to the garage. But yeah, it seems to work really well using those offline maps on either the Innovv and the Chigee. Seems to be bang on. So I'd be very interested in the comments as to whether I am right in thinking that the GPS, in my case on my iPhone, will still give you GPS navigation even though you are not, or you are nowhere near any cell masts. And in fact my iPhone, which is powering the giving data to the Innovv position wise, there is no SIM card in it, so, and it's on airplane mode. SIM card in my iPhone for the Chigee, but it's in airplane mode. So, and I'm still getting, yeah, navigation directions, etc. So anyway, let's go back to the man cave. Well folks, we've finally come to the last section of the video. Give yourselves a round of applause for getting this far, well done. I'm just going to pop some video footage up here from the Innovv and the Chigee, see what you think, but in my humble opinion, I think that the Chigee just wins it by the smallest of margins. But either of the dash cameras, although they're 1080, 30 frames a second, I think that the quality that they provide is certainly not good enough to make a Steven Spielberg epic of your motorcycle trip. I would certainly go for an action camera from the likes of DJI or Insta360 if you want that real good footage to make a nice biking trip or that kind of thing. I think the footage that the dash cam systems from Innovv Chigee provide are just going to be good enough for evidential purposes if you're involved in an accident or an incident. And finally, my final thoughts of both the Chigee and the Innovv. Well, I've just made a few notes, so here we go. I will say that the market has been flooded by all these Chinese companies putting these smart display units out on the market, and I've tested a few of them, but I haven't tested all of them. So this is just my opinion on these two units from Chigee and Innovv on the smart display navigation units, where you can use Apple's CarPlay or Android Auto for all the bits and pieces that you folks know what they do. So here we go then. What I will say is the quality of both of these units is excellent, and I would say they both sit at the top end of the tree when it comes to the smart display units, which are flooding the market at the moment. And in the time that I've been using these units, which were supplied free of charge from Chigee and Innovv, I've never had any connection issues whatsoever with the units. They've been absolutely rock solid. So let's start with the Innovv then. So the Innovv is about £130 cheaper, and depending on what day you look at their website, but it is approximately £130 cheaper than the Chigee. and I think that the 6-inch screen is absolutely brilliant. I really like the size of the screen. Yeah, it's an excellent screen. I really like it. Things where Innovv could really improve the product, which is a really good product, and it just frustrates me a little bit. I would say that they need to get their own Innovv app, and I have no idea why they haven't got their own app, because they've got it on some of the other stuff that they produce, and it's all excellent stuff actually. So yeah, downloading the footage from the Innovv onto your phone. So if you're at the roadside and there's a policeman there who wants to see the footage, well, what does he do? I suppose he could record on his iPhone or Android phone. He could record the footage as you display it on the 6-inch screen. Possibly, that's a workaround that. But by far the easiest thing is for Innovv to have an app, so you can just download it onto your phone and then Bluetooth it to them, I guess, with the footage. But yeah, there is a workaround that with that Vidor app, which I showed you in the video, and that makes it really, really easy to get the footage onto your phone. So that's a workaround that, but Innovv should have really thought about that. What else is there in relation to other improvements I think they can do? And I'm sure Innovv are going to do this in the Mark II version of the 6-inch screen. It's a brilliant screen. It's just a little bit frustrating. I would say that they need to have some quick access hard buttons on the unit itself. So if you've got thick gloves on or that kind of thing in the winter, rather than sort of messing about on the screen to get that little quick access dot on the CarPlay screen to take you to the home page, just put a hard button on the top of the unit or on the side. So with thick gloves on or any kind of gloves, you can press that and then get you to the home screen, and then you can just press those big icons to go into the settings and that kind of stuff. I think they really need to think about putting that on, and then also consider putting a screen on-off button. So if you're going to jump on the bike, nip down to the shops, you don't want the screen on, you can just turn the screen off, but it's still working behind the screen. So that would be good. So that'd be button number 2. And I think, yeah, they need to look at that. And also, please, can we have auto dimming so you don't have to faff around with the slide? So I would say that they are the 3 main things I think I've covered there that Innovv really need to address. And it's a really good product, but it could be even better. So please, Innovv, listen and make those changes, and you'd have a super unit. In relation to the Chigee, what else is there to say about the Chigee? It's an excellent bit of kit. I really like it. Simple as. It's obviously designed by motorcyclists for motorcyclists, end of, and they do listen to on their websites when people make comments about this, that and the other. The one thing that I'd say is they've already listened about the recording light flashing, which is a bit frustrating, annoying at night time. So you can actually turn that recording light off, although it's still recording. So they listen to the riders if you give input via the website. So yeah, what I would say is, yeah, just really good, the Chigee, really good. I would love the bigger screen, the 6-inch screen. I would really like that for us BMW owners. It all depends where you're going to put the screen. If you're going to put it on a nav bar, then maybe you want a bigger screen. But bear in mind, these units can go on any motorbike, but some people might just have it mounted on the handlebars, so it's pretty close to them. So a 5-inch screen is great, but for us BMW riders, please, Innovv Chigee, please Chigee, consider doing a 6-inch screen like the Innovv. So yeah, that would be what I'd like to see from Chigee. And also a slight negative point on that would be the cost of the Chigee stuff. It's not exactly cheap, is it? So that would be maybe a negative point that I would raise. That's all I've got for my notes, folks. That's it. If I've missed anything, please make any comments in the comment section down below. Long video, I know, sorry about that, but I just wanted to give you folks the best video possible so you can make your mind up and decide whether you're going to blow cash on the Chigee or the Innovv. And if you ask me what would I go for, oh no, please don't ask me that. But if I was pushed, I would actually grade it. I would say I would give the Innovv 7.5 out of 10, and I would give the Chigee 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, ride safe, hope you enjoyed the video, comments below, do all that YouTube stuff. Cheerio for now. Bye.